Now let us have a look at how to create directories and manage ownership. By default, Hdfs is super user of Hdfs. We will see the relevance of the super user Hdfs in a moment. First, let's see some of the commands. We'll also talk about something called as user space at a later point in time. When it comes to creating directories, we can either use Hadoop fs-mkdir or Hdfs dfs-mkdir. Hadoop fs and Hdfs dfs are nothing but aliases to each other. Hadoop fs-ch1 or Hdfs dfs-ch1 can be used to change ownership of files. ch1 also can be used to change the group. We can change the group using -chgrp as well. Make sure to run help on chgrp and check the details. Here are the steps to create user space. Only users in Hdfs group can take care of it. First, let's understand what is user space. For each and every user on the gateway node, typically we create a user space. It is similar to the home directory in our Windows or Mac or Linux system. So to create the user space, we just have to use the super user such as Hdfs. We have to create the directory using the login of the user. In this case, if I am logging in as itversity, it has to be itversity and then it has to go under /user. So the directory under /user with the login name is nothing but user space, provided the ownership of that directory is the login user itself. So in this case, if I have something called as /user/itversity owned by itversity user, then it is the user space for itversity. You can validate permissions by using Hadoop ss-ls or Hdfs dfs-ls on /user, and you can change the permissions as Hdfs user to create a user space for a given user. Typically, the user spaces will be created by administrators, not the developers. Developers will not be able to sudo add Hdfs and create user spaces for themselves or for others. Only the Hadoop administrators who have access to the super user Hdfs or whatever super user that is configured as part of the cluster, and they should be able to create the user spaces for the developers or any other type of user who can actually access the cluster. That being said, let's go ahead and create user space in Hdfs for itversity. I already have it. I will drop and I will recreate. Itversity is not the super user and hence I will not be able to create as itversity. I have to log in as training. So in this case, I am going to the terminal, and as part of the terminal, you can see that the logged in user is itversity, and hence I will not be able to create the user space as itversity. From here, as itversity, I will not be able to sudo to other users who are actually sudo and can actually impersonate as Hdfs and create the user space for us. To mitigate this, instead of using the terminal from Jupyter environment, I am actually using the Mac terminal, and then I am connecting to the gateway node of the cluster, in this case gw02.itversity.com, and then I can say Hdfs dfs-ls user itversity. It is already existing. You can see here. I just want to delete it first. To delete it, I can say sudo su or -u, not su, sudo -u hdfs dfs. So this hdfs is hdfs user. This hdfs is the main command of hdfs, and dfs is the dfs command under hdfs. Then I can say -rm -R -skip trash, and then provide this folder. It will take care of deleting the folder for me. Also, as itversity is the owner, I can directly delete as well, but I am using the Hdfs super user. So in your case, you can delete your own user space. However, you will not be able to recreate. To recreate, you have to fall back onto us. So be careful while deleting the user space directly. As you have permissions, you should be able to delete it, but never do that. In case if you accidentally delete it, you contact us. We will take care of recreating the user space for you. Now let's understand the steps that are involved to create the user space for user itversity. First, you have to create the folder under /user with the same name as the potential login user, which is nothing but itversity in this case. So I have to say sudo -u, then hdfs dfs-mkdir /user/itversity. It will take care of creating the folder. Now I have to change the permissions on this folder by making the itversity as owner to this. For that, we have to use hdfs DFS ch1 hyphen capital R. This is optional, but I typically use it in case if there are subfolders, all the subfolders ownership also will be changed. Then itversity colon students. So the group is students for itversity, and then we can say slash user slash itversity to change the ownership of this folder. So there is a typo in the sudo. It is supposed to be sudo, not sud. Let me fix this typo, and now you should be able to change the ownership of the folder slash user slash itversity. Now I can say hdfs dfs hyphen ls slash user grep itversity to confirm that the user space is created without any gaps. You also need to check the ownership. The ownership is nothing but itversity for this folder, which means the user space is created successfully. So this is how you should be able to create the user space for the users in the clusters, provided you have access to HDFS user. Unless and until you have access to HDFS user, who is the super user for HDFS, you will not be able to create user spaces like this. Now you should be able to create folders under your home directory. Once the home directory or user space is created, you should be able to create the folders provided you logged in as the user using which you have created the user space. So as of now, for slash user slash itversity, using which I have logged into the system, there are no files. That's why it is not showing anything. So in this case, instead of saying itversity, I am saying $user, so that you can run these commands without changing anything. Otherwise, you have to change the name here once you log in using the Jupyter based environment to practice. So this is primarily for you to not to make too many changes as you practice once you sign up for the cluster. That being said, even this one I can replace. I want to create a folder called as retail_db under user itversity. So $user is nothing but Linux environment variable which will return the logged in user. So whatever user that is used to log in, it will be replaced with that username wherever we specify $user like this in any Linux commands. So these are nothing but Linux commands which are provided through HDFS CLI once it is set up on the gateway node of this cluster. Now let me run this and it will take care of creating the retail_db folder. You can validate by saying hdfs dfs-ls like this. You can see the retail_db folder under slash user slash itversity. Again, you can replace the itversity with the $user and you should be able to see the same output here. So this is how you can create the folder, provided you have the right permissions on the parent directory in which you are trying to create these folders. As slash user slash itversity is my home directory on which I am the owner, I am able to create this subfolder retail_db under slash user slash itversity. Now, instead of creating just one directory, we can actually create the directory structure with recursive subdirectories using mkdir-p. The existing folders will be ignored and non-existing folders will be created. Let's see the help on that and then we will take it further. We'll also run hdfs dfs-mkdir-p and then this entire path with $user here. And we will be seeing the entire folder structure will be created. As retail_db already exists, it will be ignored. As orders and orders/year equal to 2020 are not there, they will be created for us. So existing folders in the path will be ignored, non-existing folders will be created. First, let's get the help on mkdir by saying hdfs dfs-help mkdir and understand what -p is for. You can see that -p is not to fail if the directory already exists. Okay, so now we should be able to run this command to recursively see what all folders or files that exist under retail_db. Let me remove this and only use retail_db and we can see the output. There is nothing in this. We can replace this with $user so that you don't need to change this and run directly once you get access to the labs in case you sign up for it. Now you see there is no output here because the folder doesn't contain any subdirectories. Now I should be able to say hdfs dfs mkdir-p /user /itversity or whatever user that is used to log in /retail_db. This already exists. Then orders, which doesn't exist, then year equal to 2020 within orders. Now let me run this and let's validate this once again. You should be able to see the output here. I am supposed to run after mkdir, and you can see the output here. When I say ls-r under retail DB, we can see orders as well as order/year equal to 2020. So this is how you should be able to create the complete directory structure using mkdir-p. We have validated before running this, which doesn't provide any output, and validated after running this, which we have provided this output, which means the entire directory structure which is passed as part of mkdir-p is fulfilled. Now we can delete non-empty directory using hdfs dfs -rm-R and empty directory using hdfs dfs -rmdir. We'll explore hdfs dfs -rm in detail later, but for now we'll be using it to delete the complete folder retail DB including its subfolders. Now let's get the help on rmdir. Removes the directory specified by each directory argument provided it is empty. And you can pass multiple directories if you want. So you can say hdfs dfs -rmdir user itversity retail DB orders year equal to 2020 space users itversity retail DB orders, so and so forth. Let me delete one directory here. Now if I directly want to use -rm to delete, it will fail. It will say that it is a directory. So in this case I am saying rm and then I am saying user itversity retail DB. It will just fail saying that it is a directory. Similarly, if I use rm command to delete this, it will complain that it is not empty. You can see here. However, if you wanted to recursively delete the folder, even if it is not empty, then you can actually say hdfs dfs -rm-R like this, and it will take care of deleting this retail DB folder even though it is not empty folder, and also even though it is a directory, not a file. Let me change this itversity to $user, and then I will run the command -rm-R to delete the retail DB completely. So let me replace this itversity, and also replace this. And now let me run this. It will take care of deleting the directory for us. We can actually validate by saying -ls on user/$user, and you can see the output. There are no folders such as retail DB orders, and retail DB orders year equal to 2020. We only have .trash, which is nothing but a recycle bin for our files. It is primarily to avoid accidental deletes. We'll be talking about .trash when we actually talk about rm in detail at a later point in time. For now, we understood how we can manage the directories, including how to create the user space in HDFS.